From vinyl music sounds to lively verbal go-arounds,
this is Into the Runout. Greetings, listeners and viewers. Welcome to this episode of Into the Runout. I am Tony, and to my right is John.
John. Hi, Tony. How you doing?
I'm good, my friend. How the heck you doing today, my friend?
Doing pretty good. Not too shabby. Another episode.
I know. We're just rolling right along here.
We're churning away.
Churning, yearning.
We're staying busy and... Go ahead, what?
A churning, burning funk.
Oh. I'm just trying to stay out of my wife's hair. I'm sure you're... I'm sure she's glad you're giving her a little break.
Oh yeah, she gets to watch whatever she watches in the living room. She's been on this show back from the early 2010s called Revenge. Yeah, it's supposed to be a show that was somehow based on the story of the Count of Monte Cristo. It's basically a whole like village full of just opportunistic, just hedonistic, mean-spirited people that are just...
And trouble ensues.
Yeah, trouble ensues. It's a family and a whole bunch of other people, and it's just, it's a game of one-upmanship. Who can be more sadistic, double-crossing, murderous in their actions and thoughts? It's
Do you watch it with her, or you let her do her own thing?
I watched little bits of it here and there. It's like, it's not my idea of great television. I'd rather bust out, the best of Get Smart and watch,
right.
Don Adams and Barbara Feldon and Ed Platt entertain us, but that's just me.
Yeah. Good old classic comedy.
Absolutely.
Can't beat it. What else? Yep. What else have you been up to?
Oh, just keeping busy with life, working jobs, driving through Nashville, driving people around, haven't had any new infusion of new artists that have crossed my car, but I'm always keeping my ear open,
Yeah, you got to.
The fact that I, was turned on to Cardinal Black was a pleasant surprise, and I look forward to finally getting around and listening to that interview with the lead singer and, reporting a little bit more on what I know about the band.
Yeah. Yeah, I listened to the rest of the album. Really good stuff. And I think they're on tour now. I'm not exactly sure where, but they're out there getting the word out.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they passed through Nashville.
Definitely good find.
They passed through Nashville for the second time since they've been a band. So, the folks here in the Music City got a taste of them at a famous little venue called the Basement East. And, yeah.
Sounds seedy.
Yeah, well, it's apart from Broadway, which is where all the local artists and aspiring musicians play almost around the clock. You do have these other little venues around town where some of the more, kind of underground people get a chance to play. Eclectic, yes.
There you go.
And eclectic is a good thing.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing old-fashioned garage sailing in the past week.
Yeah, you see, I remember you were telling me about that, so I hear you got your garage back.
For the most part, I have a few things I still need to put away that got kind of caught up in the mess, but for the most part, the garage is back, and when the snow comes, we should be able to put the car in the garage and keep it nice and clean.
Nice!
That's good. Yeah, we had a good time. And I was having a discussion with somebody, I forgot who it was, but is it garage sale or yard sale? Like, what do you call it?
Well, I mean, it's a yard sale if the sale extends beyond the garage. But if it's
mine was in the driveway.
Yeah, but if it's exclusive to just the driveway and the garage, I think you call it a garage sale. I think that's always kind of been the distinction, the distinction in etiquette. I think.
Right.
I mean, when we did ours back in 2016, my mom put a personal stuff of my dad's up, and that was ironically the day that she got the call from Levy, who did concessions for the Cubs and expressed interest in her resume to come work for the Cubs, which led to her being hired and her first night of working at Wrigley Field the night the Cubs won the pennant.
And now she's their closer, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah,
That's
but
good.
yeah,
That's cool. That's
but
cool.
when we did that garage sale, we had it exclusively to the garage, so we called it that.
Speaking of moms, I saw your mom subscribe to our channel and is sharing our stuff. So thanks, Mom.
Oh, thanks, Mom. You're the best. We love you.
We got both our moms cheering us on. So
I know your
we're
mom
lucky
chimed
guys.
in. Your mom
We're lucky
chimed in on
guys.
Facebook and said, "Way to go!" So we do
Yep.
have great moms,
And our wives are doing the same. So thanks, wives. I appreciate it.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I know where I would be today without my wife. I would be living in my mother's basement back up in suburban Chicago and trying to figure out in my early 50s what I want to do with my life. Now granted, I'm still trying to figure out what to do in my life in my early 50s.
But you're not in the basement
now, but I'm out of the basement.
Right? Yeah. See, you'd be in the basement and I'd be up in my parents' attic. So
yeah, that's true.
What are you going to do? Top and bottom.
But you had the cool second floor bedroom when you lived on the southeast side.
Yeah, I took over. Actually, it used to be my dad's den, and it was I think it was an unfinished attic because I don't remember too well what it looked like. But him and my mom's uncle refinished it, and then became his den. You know, dens were a big thing in the still a big thing in the late 70s.
They were.
And then it wasn't too long after. I think my youngest brother, he was born in 83, so probably I would say right around there, right before that, I claimed his den. I'm like, I'm moving into my room, not sharing a room with another brother. So that's how I took that over.
I ultimately did that too. We were living in a 2-floor Georgian in Dalton, and eventually I finally said, I'm done with the bunk bed. I'm claiming the den downstairs in the basement, and I converted that into my bedroom. Now there was a caveat to that in the sense that I had no real privacy because you walk down the steps and there it is. There was no big long wall, no door, no separation.
Right.
I mean, if I had requested that, Dad might have endeavored to do something like that, but we weren't.
You could see the dirty laundry from the top of the stairs.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, for sure. But I was with you. But yeah, I didn't have the cool paneled den room that you had. I mean, I did have paneling, but it wasn't as nice and elegant as yours.
The 70s wood paneling.
Absolutely. And even when you moved into your first house, Crown Point, you ironically had a room that was paneled in the kind of same almost
that was
style.
Real wood. That was real wood.
Yeah. But it was great that your bedrooms all kind of followed that wood paneled, theme.
Yeah. And even in my little setup down here off camera, there's some darker wood too. So the theme still goes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you notice, I've got one of my cubes filled up a little bit behind me. I don't know if you can tell, but during the garage sale, I actually acquired more things than I sold. So I had a neighbor come out that lives, a few houses down, and she was giving away pretty much a brand new work desk, an all glass top work desk. So we acquired a new desk, and then my neighbor directly next to me offered up her husband's, a lot of her husband's record collection. He used to be a DJ, so I'm acquiring those, and I think he knows about it. I don't think it's a secret. I don't know if she's just like, hey, take these before he notices. No, I'm just kidding. He was there. He's got a pretty good collection. I was going to say,
so. if you hear a pound at your back door or front door, and he has a look in his eye, you'll know that, okay, cough up the vinyl, buddy, or you're going to wind up with cement shoes in the bottom of the river. Capiche?
He knows about it. It's cool. He knows all about it. And I actually told him they got a nice home, and if he wants to come visit and say hello, they're here. He can come by. He can come by and listen to him if he wants.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, I mean, think about it though. A guy who was a DJ. Shoot, we might even ask him. We might even ask him to come on into the Runout and talk about being a DJ. That would be fun.
I might do that. I haven't thought about that, but I might. We'll check it out. We'll see. Yeah.
It's in these moments where we're inspired the most to think.
Exactly. And we're not here trying to bring on, big names like Taylor Swift and things like that onto our podcast because
No.
She's got her boyfriend's or her fiance's podcast to go on to. She doesn't have time for our podcast, so we'll get the little people on who are more important and have amazing things to say that go under the radar all the time.
But hey, but if somebody one day, is given our podcast, somebody who's a big giant in the industry who wants to come on our humble podcast, I won't say no. So,
everybody's got something to say.
Everybody's got something to say. So, I have my dreams,
Who's your dream guest? Give me 3 guests who you like on the show.
Oh, Dennis DeYoung of the band Styx, Barry Manilow, and probably who would be the third one? Probably I've saw a lot of interviews with him, but I wouldn't say no to Billy Joel.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Billy would be nice to have on.
And any
I like
one
to
of
talk
those.
to. I wouldn't mind talking to Paul.
Oh, shoot. Absolutely. Oh yeah.
I mean,
if Paul came on, I'd be like,
yeah, he does interviews left and right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would never say no to any of those fine gentlemen, and I certainly wouldn't say no to an Ann and Nancy Wilson or any great female artist out there. That's if any of them ever heard about us and wanted to appear on our humble little podcast, I'd say have the whole forum and tell us your life story. We'll gladly ask and listen and smile away.
Yeah, and I'm looking at my hair sticking up in the camera here.
Oh no!
I'm thinking to myself, it's time for a haircut. I think it's time. When we started this, I'm like, I'm just gonna let it grow. Maybe I'll be that cool looking hipster kind of music guy, and now I'm like, it's getting a little out of control. So I think next week I'm gonna look a little different when we record. So.
Well, you know what, though, my friend, you'll still be the cool hipster guy with or without the hair.
I hope so. All right, guys, it's time to move on to our first segment of the week. It's Top Tracks of the Week time.
Top tracks. Top tracks. Top tracks. Top tracks. Top tracks. Top tracks. Top tracks of the week.
All right, let me get my list. I got a list. Top tracks. All right, first up. And Tony, I'm going to start sending you these ahead of time. And if you get any, send them to me ahead of time. And then you can give a listen and give some of your own feedback. I think that's only fair.
Oh no, absolutely, yeah. And and that's a thought that was in my mind. I just didn't follow up with you and ask. So
I'm the same way too. I got busy and didn't get a chance to, so I apologize.
Oh, it's all good.
Feel free, along with the viewers, to write these down as we move along.
Yes.
And if not, we'll post them later on all our social media sites.
Yeah.
And then you can check them out yourself. And then you can look them up on Spotify and YouTube also. Yeah. So first up is a song called Shivers by Royston Club. They are an indie rock band, and they are also out of Wales, just like your boys
Cardinal Black.
From Wales. Cardinal Black from Wales. This is their second album called Songs for the Spine. And if you give a listen, you're going to hear a lot of early U2. Very powerful, a lot to say, energetic, great sounding band. Next up is a song called Eye of the Storm by Georgia Harmer. She's a singer-songwriter. This is also her second studio album, and she self-produced it. And she did it in intimate settings such as living rooms, backyard, garage studios, and she did it just so she can pick up the little intricacies of like squeaks and hums and kind of a more analog approach to the album. So it's got a really neat sound to it. Next up, and this song is actually untitled. That's the name of the song. This song is actually untitled.
Oh, okay.
By Potsu, Potsu. It's lo-fi hip hop instrumental. Are you familiar with lo-fi, Tony?
No, what's lo-fi?
So lo-fi is
hi-fi?
pretty much. It's pretty stripped down, basic. Usually one or two instruments, like a keyboard or a piano, and a soft drum beat in the background, and it's usually instrumental.
Nice.
But it's kind of to help you focus, study, read, that kind of thing. It's nice background music. It's today's elevator music, basically, for hipsters.
Hipsters.
But I love lo-fi. And some say Paul McCartney invented lo-fi. Look it up. Look it up on Google. Google it. Anyways, this is a mellow, minimal, and very calm and reflective album, and the song in general. Just basically, like I said, built around a slow drum beat and a soft piano. But give a listen if you want to relax and chill.
All right.
Next up is a song called Forever Never Lasts. And this one's kind of cool. It's by a duet named Rachel and Vilray. So it's vintage jazz, and they sound a lot like Mel Torme and Dinah Shore. So you're going really old school kind of stuff, and it's for modern times, it's kind of out of place, you would think, but I mean, they nail it on the head. It's like you're putting on an old album from the 50s. Sounds really cool. So this is off their West of Broadway album, and it's, the song's about love and its fleeting nature, kind of fleeting away, but with a warmth and charm. So a very cool sounding song. Next up is I'm Gonna Run by Ashley Monroe. This is a very haunting and eerily sounding country song. So it's in partnership with T-Bone Burnett, if anyone's familiar with T-Bone Burnett. It's about leaving behind heartbreak, fear, and the weight of the past. It's got a kind of like an old, slow Western kind of background haunting guitar, and very minimal, hardly any. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's any other instruments in it except this haunting guitar, and maybe some synths or strings or something in the background, but no drums. It's very slow. It's a very unique song.
Wow.
And then to round it up is a song called Signs, and that's by Greek. It's an R&B song. It's a soulful track from his album called Cedar's Tape. And he also produced this on his own, and it's a very cool R&B groovy kind of song. So go ahead and give our songs and our top tracks of the week a listen.
Top tracks of the week.
Okay.
Right.
That was fun. Hope everybody enjoys those. Now we're going to move on to This Week in Music History. Okay. September 18th, 1970.
Elton John's debut album?
Well, no.
Nope.
It's a sad thing.
Oh.
I hate to start off with the sad thing. But on September 18th, 1970, that's the day Jimi Hendrix joined the 27 Club. Unfortunately.
A man who had limitless talent. And thankfully his skill and talent is still being discovered today by guitar virtuosos all over the world. But yeah, imagine what had he lived.
Yeah. Definite talent. Other members of the 27 Club, Robert Johnson, he was the first. And then Brian Jones. And then
the Rolling Stones, right?
Of the Rolling Stones, yeah. Yes. You got it. Then Jimmy, and then Janis very shortly after.
And then Jim Morrison.
And then Jim the next year. And then in the 90s, Kurt Cobain famously joined the 27 Club, and actually, I think, that's when they coined the 27 Club phrase. And then Amy Winehouse in the 2000s, 2011. So we're going on to September 19th. This is 1981. Big concert took place in New York. 500,000 people were at this concert.
Oh, Diana Ross at Central Park? No,
it was in Central Park.
So Simon and Garfunkel Central Park.
You got it.
Right.
Yeah, that was amazing. An estimated
I have
500,000?
I have that album. Compliments of my dear Aunt Sue. She gave it to me when I was a kid, and it
Oh,
still
nice.
sits amongst my my collection.
That's a good one to have for sure.
Oh, it's great. Well, and it was great for them to get back together because, I mean, they had their brief little moment where they got back together in the mid-'70s and did My Little Town, and then they hadn't done anything for about 5-6 years, and then a chance to not only come back, but come back in the biggest of ways.
And I guess that concert was in 80, 81, and I think it was on TV the next year. I think that's how they worked that.
Yeah. I somewhere about, I want to say it was about 2007. They did a Hall of Fame concert at Madison Square Garden, and Simon and Garfunkel came out and performed The Sound of Silence, and it sounded incredible.
Oh, I can imagine.
It just, and it was cool though because Paul Simon started with a little bit of an acoustic introduction in kind of like a Spanish guitar kind of style, and then led into the opening guitar, lick that leads you into the two of them. And I mean, wow. One of the finest songs.
Oh yeah. Amazing songwriters, amazing duo for sure.
Yep. And yeah, so many great songs, and and again, people that were a part of that amazing Brooklyn Jewish generation of kids that just all found their way into the music world via Brooklyn into New York and basically made history over and over again.
Over and over. Okay, let's move on.
Yes.
Let's go to September 20th, 1975.
1975. What's the hint?
Should I give you a hint? Let's give you a hint.
Yeah, give me a hint.
What's a good hint? The song was recorded. It's a song that was recorded at Jimi Hendrix studio, Electric Ladyland Studios.
Huh.
This guy, it's a man.
The man?
Who recorded with Lennon.
Lennon?
John Lennon. And it was his first U.S. #1.
Ooh, wow. First U.S. #1. Man, I'm drawing a blank. Who is it?
And he once worked with Queen that we talked about.
David Bowie? Huh?
Yeah, we talked about him a little bit on our Queen episode.
Yeah, that will be coming
up.
Coming up.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Little teaser.
Yeah.
Yep. September 20th. First #1.
Fame.
Fame. You got it.
Yeah. That's right. I always thought that was 76, but it actually was 75.
75.
That's right.
It's got a great bass riff in that song.
It does. And a great guitar riff too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's quite the song. One of those that I, stumbled upon many years later. Bowie was an artist who I didn't grow up knowing, and it wasn't until my musical palette was far advanced that I came to really learn who he was. And first it was like Space Oddity, and then it was Fame, and then it was the music that he started making in the 80s, which I probably remember hearing a little bit of, Modern Love and Let's Dance and those songs, but I still wasn't familiar with Bowie as a real artist until I got a bit older in years. Probably my teen years, I started becoming more familiar with him.
Yeah, I would say MTV is what brought me on to David Bowie.
Yeah.
As with probably many our generation. I don't want to say what generation we are because I want to give away our age.
No, we don't have to tell people how old we are.
We're not boomers, I can tell you that.
No, we are not.
Got a little gray hair, but not that much.
No, I mean, you're looking at my gray hair, you think I was an old man, but no, we have a generation who raised us that were the boomers, and the baby boomer generation, strong they are and always will be.
Yes. September 21st, 1974.
74.
This is one of your guys.
One of my guys.
He had a song that went to #1. Let's give hints. Hints.
Give me a hint.
I don't have any hints. He's got
No
a really deep voice.
Barry White?
Yeah. Can't get enough of your love.
Yeah.
Definitely a classic song.
We got it together, baby.
Yeah. I can't do it either.
I'll tell you what, the man.
I'll wait till I have a cold, then I can do it.
Exactly right. The man proved that not only he could make amazing music, he could even sell Arby's late in his life.
Arby's.
I mean, right?
We're gonna creep people out. We probably shouldn't do that too much.
Right? I'll just be the new Arby's guy. We have the meats.
Isn't that the guy from Pulp Fiction?
I don't know.
Sounds familiar.
I mean, Samuel. Are you talking about Samuel L. Jackson?
No.
Okay.
No. There's another guy in there.
Oh, there's another guy in there?
Yeah. No, if it was Samuel L. Jackson, there would have been F-bombs in that commercial.
Right.
So.
Or what's in your wallet? I'm just glad he's forever associated with Star Wars as Mace Windu,
Yep.
the baddest Jedi in the galaxy, with the purple lightsaber.
Yeah, I think he requested that purple lightsaber too.
Well, you know what?
Wish was granted.
Yeah, and I think it was great because, I mean, a guy of his skill set needed something to set him apart. And I love the fact that when he was told he was being killed off, he said, I just don't want to go out like a sucker. And he sure didn't.
No.
He went out in a blaze of glory.
Yep. September 22nd, 1985.
85.
Yeah. I could give hints, but instead of Live Aid, it was...
Farm Aid.
You got it.
Hey.
Farm Aid debuted.
Aha.
Got Willie Nelson, John Mellencamp heading it up, Bob Dylan, Billy Joel was involved, Neil Young, B.B. King, Loretta Lynn, Roy Orbison, and Tom Petty, among many others. What a lineup.
Wow, what a lineup.
September 23rd, 1980. Bob Marley performed his last show at the Stanley Theater in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, of all places.
Huh.
Far from Jamaica. That's it for this week in music history. Now, we're on to our news segment, our newest segment to join the family, where we are going to be reviewing our top albums of all time.
Yes.
And no better place to start than with Fleetwood Mac's epic album, Rumours. Rumor has it.
Yeah, rumor has it.
Rumor has it. This is an amazing album.
Oh, absolutely.
So we're going on the way back machine to 1977.
Yep. Yeah.
But maybe we should start a little bit before that, actually.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when you think about Fleetwood Mac, a band that started way back in the 60s in England, and they were very bluesy and very, 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 very innovative for their time, led by the late Peter Green, and whose career sadly was cut short too, and life. And then the band went through some changes, and they kind of remained this band that was constantly trying to find its way through the musical landscape, and they reached a crossroad around about 1974 when Mick Fleetwood was in a studio that he was trying to secure for the band to record their next album, when in a moment of utter serendipity, the over the sound system in the studio was playing a track from the album Buckingham Nicks, and Mick heard the very, very, tight guitar work of Lindsey Buckingham and instantly asked, who is that playing the guitar on that track? And then hence the first steps of reaching out to Lindsey, who, he and his then partner, Stevie Nicks, were recording together and trying to break into the music industry and release this very, potentially, promising album. and it, made it out, but it didn't really have any commercial or critical success, but it was a beginning for them. But they were still trying to, make their way into the industry. So Stevie's waiting on tables and Lindsay's, doing his thing, and they're trying to make it work. And he gets contacted by Mick Fleetwood. And of course, Lindsay said, well, I'd love to join, but I'm currently, in a musical and a personal relationship with a very talented, singer. And if I come to Fleetwood Mac, she has to come with me. And so that were the beginnings. But I also remember watching an interview where, Stevie Nicks was very much, okay, if we're going to join this band, we need to find out, see if we have anything that we can contribute to this band, something to bring to the table. So she proceeded to get every single Fleetwood Mac album and listen to them, just very religiously and diligently to see if what Lindsay and her were going to bring could contribute and improve this band. And she came to the conclusion that, yes, we have something. So they came aboard and, they met up with the existing members, which of course was Mick Fleetwood and John and Christine McVie, who at the time were married. And they commenced to, get together for the first time. And as Christine McVie recalled, the very first song that they kind of did a rehearsal together was a song that Lindsay recorded that made it onto that Fleetwood Mac album in 1975 called Monday Morning. And they were she said, we were instantly impressed with the way Stevie and Lindsay were jumping in with their parts, singing, and it was right there that they knew that they were onto something. And of course, that subsequent album then immediately included some significant contributions. Lindsay, of course, with that song, and Stevie Nicks, of course, providing Rhiannon. Christine McVie, of course, providing Say That You Love Me and Over My Head. And then, of course, Stevie with Landslide. So, I mean, it was a really, really, really solid album. And it was really, Fleetwood Mac emerging for the first time into the mainstream.
And here's a copy of that album cover.
Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac, and look at what they kind of look like back in the day. Got the bell bottoms rocking.
Sure do.
And Stevie's starting her signature look.
Yep.
In the early stages. So put that up here so you guys can see it.
And Stevie was really, I remember but watching an interview where she said, she was a little concerned about coming into a band with an established female voice already there and if it would be a contentious thing. But she instantly was charmed and warmed by, Christine's way of going about things and the communication and the rapport that they instantly developed. She felt like, Christine was really just one of those persons that she could immediately find, relatability and relationship with. And so that was like an instant smooth transition. So you figure with all of that going for them, there now lies the groundwork for a potentially good follow-up album, but then it is fueled by all kinds of other things that are happening under the landscape of this sudden, shall we say, exposure and stardom that hits. Relationships are starting to unravel.
The wheels were falling off the bus.
They were falling off the bus. And here you have John and Christine McVie divorcing, and Lindsay and Stevie's relationship is unraveling. And so you've got all of this tension going on in the aftermath of the 1975 Fleetwood Mac album. And now it lays the groundwork for this interesting, coming together of the band in 1976 when they begin writing and recording the material for what we now know as one of the greatest albums of all time, Rumours.
I'm sure you've seen the cover. Very famous cover. One of the top selling albums of all time, as you said.
Yep. Over 40 million copies now sold worldwide. I mean, and in 1980, it was already up to 13 million. So you figure in the last, 45 years, it has sold more than 27 million more copies in the last 45 years. I mean, that's incredible.
Leading up to and before Rumours, as we talked about the Fleetwood Mac album, I think for me, that album was getting the airplay back when I was really small. I heard a lot of those songs on the radio, and I think that was some of my first early exposures to music in general. And those songs and that song catalog just built and pushed this album forward. And then to be able to build upon and have greater songs than the Fleetwood Mac album, and then have all the turmoil happening on top of that is just a feat in itself.
Well, they recorded all throughout California in 1976. The album was released February 4th, 1977. Yep. The album was 39 minutes and 3 seconds, and it produced not one, not two, not three, but 4 top 10 songs. I mean,
and it could have been more, to be honest. More. I mean, that album's just chock full of hits. There isn't a bad song on it.
No, there isn't.
Which is why it sold 40 million copies.
Yeah, really. I mean, it really is that kind of thing. But I mean, songs that they embody, obviously, the relationship element of Raveling. Go Your Own Way was the first single, released the 20th of December of 76.
Which is about the breakup of Lindsay and Stevie.
And then Stevie they released Stevie's own version of it, which some would argue is even better than Lindsay's, Dreams, released on the 24th of January of 77.
From a completely different perspective.
Yeah, completely different perspective. But, I mean, you can't get much more metaphorical than the lyric that says, when the rain washes you clean, you'll know. I mean,
mm-hmm. And to show up to work the next day and still play with that person. I mean, it was all about the music. And life was the seed for this album for sure.
Yeah. And what's interesting is the B side of Go Your Own Way was another breakup song that didn't even make the album. And that, of course, that song was Silver Springs.
Which you mentioned that to me earlier, and I was amazed. I didn't realize that. And just to think back in the day, you had to own the 45 in order to even have that song in your possession.
Crazy. And I had kind of forgotten about it too. I had always thought in my mind Silver Springs was somewhere back in the Fleetwood Mac self-titled album, but it wasn't. Yeah. Now, the song got a whole new world of airplay in 94 when the five famous members got back together and reunited for the dance. They did do a stunning live version of it. It really, really was. It transcended, in my opinion, the album version, which wasn't a bad version by any means, but the passage of time, just and the energy and the intensity of those voices singing and the sound emerging in that renewed, reformed Fleetwood Mac, it was just perfect, absolutely perfect.
Yeah, that was an interesting time because that's when Fleetwood Mac came back into the fold, picked up new speed, new wins, and still continue on this day to tour.
Yeah, they do. And interestingly enough, not too long ago, I saw that Lindsay and Stevie had kind of tweeted lyrics to a song, and apparently it was the same song, and it was a song off the Buckingham Nicks album, which is supposedly, I've heard that there are going to be finally some 40 years, 50 years later, finally releasing that re-releasing that out-of-print version of Buckingham Nicks, supposedly. So
interesting.
It'd be interesting to see if that does indeed come about, because for all Fleetwood Mac fans, that's been kind of the elusive album for a lot of the band fans.
Yeah.
And maybe some hope that in the midst of all the turbulence of the last fallout that Stevie and Lindsay had in the past decade, that they may finally find it within themselves to put old animosities and grudges and, aside and, actually, reconcile at least to where they can get together and talk about it and, and maybe even record something again. That would be remarkable. But continuing on with the tracks, the other two top 10 songs, of course, was Lindsay's amazing Don't Stop and Christine McVie's one colossal contribution to the album, You Make Loving Fun. Don't Stop was released in April of 1977, and Christine's You Make Loving Fun released that September. So those were the chart hits. Those were what was released to the public. But then you have an album that, as you said, John, it doesn't have a bad track on it.
No. I mean, so we talked about, we have Secondhand News.
Yep.
Great start to the album. Dreams. Never Going Back Again. I'm going to just list them off. Don't Stop. Go Your Own Way. Songbird, which we could talk for an hour about that song.
Oh, yes.
The Chain, which is an interesting song.
Oh, yes.
And we'll talk about that too. You Make Lovin' Fun. I Don't Want to Know. Oh Daddy, and Gold Dust Woman. Interesting fact about The Chain, and I'll jump in on this one. I didn't realize that that's the only track on the album that all the members wrote together, which was, representative of the title track of the song, The Chain. You can't break the chain of the band, even though everybody's falling apart. But the chain as a whole, you can't break.
Yeah. And I mean, when those voices unite, and as that song crescendos, you go from that just, yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, that bass line from John McVie is just, ooh, and it just rolls in and begins to build up. And then,
supposedly he recorded that bass track in one take.
I have no doubt about it. I have no doubt about it, because John McVie is one of those very underrated bass players, kind of like the way John Deacon was kind of, in a lot of ways, underrated with Queen.
Exactly.
I think John McVie was definitely an underrated bass player.
And with the exception, I mean, Mick Fleetwood in his own right is a great drummer, but if you listen to the instruments in each song as they all take their turns playing, you can hear the emotions coming out of everyone's playing. Everyone's singing. You can hear what they're singing about through the instruments. So it's, I mean, to hear that was recorded in one track, I don't doubt at all. One take, I don't doubt at all. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So any other standout songs on there for you?
Oh, well, I absolutely love Lindsay's just proficient guitar work and Never Going Back Again. It's a textbook of how to play guitar and the lyrics too, and just everything about the song. It's Lindsay and all of his expression, great lyric, great song, great guitar, great movement, kind of separate from the band as far as what he kind of brings. It's just kind of him, really don't hear anybody else in the band, but a really, really good song.
Yeah. And highlighting the fact that he's a very underrated guitarist. I mean,
oh yeah,
he's up there with the best for sure.
And for those out there who have never seen it, if you go and try and and seek out Fleetwood Mac playing off vinyl and look for an actual performance of them, if you go find the Old Gray Whistle Stop performance there, when they do the version of Rhiannon, there's a moment where Stevie is singing Taken by the Star, and then she goes, no, no, no. And then it rolls into Lindsay just tearing up the place for a minute with one of the most blistering guitar solos. And you get a close-up look that he's playing the whole thing with his thumb. Ooh. And he's just going, just jamming away, and the sound that he is getting off his guitar with the thumb, and the force and the sound and the musical just expression that he is going forth with that solo, it speaks of what you said. He's really one of the more underrated guitarists, that he was able to play what he played with just his thumb. I mean, just positively stunning stuff. But it's like, I remember being in high school when I first saw that video of them at the old Gray Whistle Stop playing that song live, and I was mesmerized because I had never heard really Lindsay play, a guitar solo. He's not one of those guys on Fleetwood Mac whose, guitar solos weren't necessarily like, I mean, Don't Stop, he played a really good guitar lick and solo in it. But, you don't instantly think, oh, Lindsey Buckingham's guitar solos on a Fleetwood Mac album. But in that one moment, he showcased how good he is.
Yeah, and he could be. Fleetwood Mac was a very radio-friendly band, and is a very radio-friendly band.
Yes.
So to highlight his skills with guitar solos and such was probably not going to be radio-friendly. So I think on the recorded albums, they probably held back on that. But on the live performances, you could definitely hear it shine through.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's positively a stunner. But Secondhand News, great song of Lindsay's. That was certainly solid. Then outside of that, I mean, I Don't Want to Know, another great song. Lindsay and Stevie sounding really, really good together on that song.
Yep.
Christine McVie, had just the one hit, but I mean, between Songbird and Oh Daddy, I mean,
right.
Wow.
Two crazy emotional songs. Songbird, unfortunately, being her swan song in 2022 when she passed away. But just highlighting that, she may have been kind of a hidden member of Fleetwood Mac, not standing out as much as far as personality goes. I mean, she could definitely provide the best of the songs. That's an amazing song. Very emotional song.
Oh, yeah. I watched a documentary about Christine McVie not too long ago, and I mean, she, in her roots were blues.
Oh,
Her music was very, very bluesy before she came aboard with Fleetwood Mac. And if you listen to her earliest recordings and the music that she was playing on vinyl and live before Fleetwood Mac, you see a woman who is doing music that was groundbreaking for the time and was absolutely at its core just true blues music.
Yeah, she was in a blues band, and the name slips me.
Yeah, it slips me too.
But yeah, definitely that was a surprise when I discovered that when I was doing some research.
Yeah. But just again, another wonderful element of what made Fleetwood Mac such an incredible band. Because, I mean, you had all of these players coming from different, avenues and different backgrounds, and them all finding their place together in this band.
So with the help of the internet, I was able to look back and see that the name of her band was called Chicken Shack.
That's right, Chicken Shack, yes.
Which I should have remembered that. Why wouldn't I remember that?
Why wouldn't I remember that too?
Such a household name, Chicken Shack.
Yeah. No, but absolutely, though. I mean, it's, and I mean, Christine McVie was truly one of those unique, special artists of all time. I mean, I don't think you can overstate that enough for her to go from being in just a blues band to finding her way into this, this band in England and becoming such a significant part. I mean, and, when I think about just the music that she has made over the years and in the course of her life, and to think that now she's gone, it's wow, it's incredible, absolutely incredible. But Rumours did get Album of the Year for the Grammys in 1978 and was inducted into the Grammys Hall of Fame for albums in 2003. So it continues to be, amongst everybody's album list as, the one of the top 10 albums of all time.
Yep, you got to have it in your vinyl collection like I do. That's the one you got to have in there.
Mine too. Mine too. Absolutely.
And 40 million other people. Apparently.
Right? Yeah. I mean, and it's amazing because, I mean, in that album, you had so much tension, so much friction, so much drama going on. And they were able to use every ounce of it and got out of it some of the most raw art that one could ever put on vinyl. And yet again, the open, naked, and vulnerable art that gets put out there on vinyl winds up being the most revered, appreciated, cherished, and memorable of anything that's out there, because in the end, people don't want words. They want words that mean something. They want words that echo experience, life, emotion, breakup, all the tough stuff.
Exactly.
I think that's why.
Go ahead.
I think that's why country music is so endearing, because it's always talking about some type of a challenge that, that someone in their life is facing.
Yep. Overcoming animosity.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the key recipe to country music. And so any closing thoughts that you like to talk about before we part ways this week?
Well, we were just talking about country music for a second. Do you ever heard the joke of what happens when you play a country song backwards?
I have, but share it with the rest of us.
You get your wife, car, job, and dog all back.
Woohoo! All right,
man.
so I had a blast talking about this album. And definitely, if you haven't heard Rumours, we won't shame you. Go ahead and give it a listen. And please feel free to let us know if you have heard it or not, to let us know what your favorite tracks are in the comments. Don't forget to follow us on all social media. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, TikTok, YouTube, and you can also listen to us on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts where available. So until next time, when the music fades,
the discussion begins.
See you on side 2.